Oh. All right. I'm back. And today, I'm finishing the Norn Assimilator. Yes, Alright, so we have, continuing from what we did last week, now what's left is just the highlights and finishing touches. So I'm hoping to get this all wrapped up today. And yeah. Sorry, just messing with my computer 1 sec. Alright, new stream setup. Hope you like it. Alright, so I'm just going to start off with some grays on the carapace. And I'm going to start with a Dawnstone. And then we're going to work our way up to Administratum Gray for a highlight. Let's see here, what kind of brush? What size? Let's get a... We'll start with a medium. Yeah, we'll start with a medium layer size. So we're gonna do a chunky. I'm gonna do a chunky highlight first. So that's why I like to do is start with a thick highlight, and then you work your way to the very thin ones on the edge. Kind of helps transition the build up to the highlight. Wet pellets, really wet. Put the paint down here. You know what? Gonna drain some excess water. Alright. Gonna get some Dawnstone on my pellet. And I'm just gonna start with these legs. So kind of starting on the side here. Just gonna do a chunky highlight along the edge, ever so carefully. And also along some of those cracks that are on the carapace. This is going on pretty thin. That's a good thing. Camera just a little bit. And just very carefully layer this on. Key is to not get it over the black, the cracks, and also keeping it off the skin and the other details. This brush doesn't want to keep a tip. It's wearing out on me. Hopefully the furnace behind me isn't too loud. It's that time of year. And along the back tail here. Just really sticking on the edges. It's okay if it's a little rough. It's just the build-up. I'm just going to go all the way around. the outer edge of the carapace, kind of doing a little thick highlight. Just put this music, right? Sounds like Prince of Persia. Going all the way around the tail. Maybe a little tedious, but just work your way around. Just gonna keep going at it. All come together at the end, and all the effort will be worth it. If you're tuning in after the fact, just checking this video out, I do stream starting on Mondays. Monday evenings, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the U.S. That's my designated stream day, so you can come check me out live during that time. Chat with me. You can ask questions. Might do something different each week, or kind of carry on a project I've been working on, like in this case, Norn Assimilator. So yeah, I'm just gonna get these ridges on the tail armor. That's kind of subtle, but that's good. The chunky highlight you don't want to be too heavy, so that way you can build up contrast with the lighter highlight color. Get a little zoomed in on there. Just going around with the chunky highlight. Cracks me up. It's kind of edgy. Yeah, it's coming together. Got most of the tail done. Just got to do the other thigh and then the two shins and the tail, and then I can move on to another piece. So I got something on my brush. Let me clean that off real quick. And back at it. I hope everyone's week's going good. Mine is just getting started. Try to wrap up some Tyranids. I'm gonna get caught up on my Leviathan Space Marine half. Truth be told, I have not touched it. I've only been focusing on the Tyranids, so I gotta catch up. Thinking about making the battle damage this time around. I don't know. Battle damage Space Marines always look pretty cool. Alright, so I'm just gonna do the shin guards. Play soccer or something. Just get a little bit better frame. There we go. So I'm just gonna go around the edges, just like everywhere else. Build up that chunky highlight. So what do you think is a better loadout option? The Assimilator or the Emissary? Let me know in the comments. I got one of each, so we'll find out, but still not sure which one's better. I suppose they have different utility use cases, but the Assimilator is a little bit higher in points, so it must be better in combat, or I don't know, have more uses. I haven't stared too closely at their data sheets, to be honest, but I aim to. Now that we'll have both of them ready to field. That'll be exciting. I'm a bit of a casual player, but I do try to play regularly, just not super competitive, not super into the meta. I just like to play fun lists. So also with these chunky highlights, if the paint is thin, that's a good thing. Because it kind of blends in with the... It makes it a little semi-translucent, and then it'll blend in with the lower layer, the base layer, a little bit nicer. Hopefully the lighting is a little bit better this time around. Also the image quality. Testing out a new camera. Huge improvement from the one we had last week and the week before. Alright. Yeah, that's already looking much nicer. Excited about that. So I'm gonna do these ridges here. Try to get a nice fine point on this brush, even though it doesn't want to behave. Then we'll get the tail. Tail armor bits. Sometimes I get tempted to just rush the chunky highlights because I get impatient. Just gotta be patient and slow down. We'll all come together in time. Oh, my neck. Did you hear that? I sure did. Alright, legs are done. I think I need a better brush. This one is fine, it just doesn't want to hold the tip for me. I need to pick up a new medium layer brush. Could go small layer, but I think I want that one for other highlights. This looks like about the right size. We can get the focus. Yeah, we'll go with this. And I'm just gonna get a little bit more Dawnstone on my palette. Got to get a little watered down. I may have overwetted my palette. Alright, next on the agenda, the torso. So this is going to be same deal as the legs. Just going to lay down that chunky highlight all around the carapace. So I'll start in the back here. Kind of get a feel. Brush, the paint consistency, all of that. A little bit more of an inconspicuous area if things kind of need a little bit of adjusting. That's where I like to start. Just gonna kind of carefully go along the edge. Oh yeah, this brush is behaving much nicer for me. Also, it's a little bit bigger space, so I can kind of lay the side of the brush along the edge and catch it fairly easily. And if you happen to click on this video, see what this channel is all about. We are Big Nerds Wargaming. We do wargaming content, battle reports, painting, handcrafted terrain. I also do some 3D printing. I might make a couple videos about that. But yeah, we do it all. The mini wargaming hobby. Live stream every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Post a new video about once every 2 weeks. Sometimes more. At a minimum, once every 2 weeks, and anything else is a bonus video. You can think of it. Also, I do Kill Team. Looking at adding some other game systems to the channel as well. Besides just the Games Workshop stuff. And we love the Games Workshop games. They're great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm painting Tyranids. But there's a lot of other great game systems out there, which I'm starting to discover. So I want to maybe just branch out a little bit, diversify what we got on the channel. Give some other systems a little bit of love. But yeah, primarily Warhammer Games Workshop stuff for the most part, though. trying to blend this in on the kind of raised areas. We get these edges on the these vents here. So I don't want to overdo it. Just want to add some variation though. Start to bring out that detail with the highlights. Gotta keep the brush wet. Always keep the brush wet. That's already starting to dry. I went too long. Very carefully. Ever so carefully. There we go. We got one side kind of done there. Just gotta work my way around on the other side. Also capture the front here. For the chunky highlight, you know, you can kind of be a little free-flowy, experimental with, because you do want it to kind of blend in with the main color a little bit. It's the next stage highlight. You want to be a little bit more precise, and you don't want to overdo it. As you slowly build up the contrast between base color and the highlight color, they'll all come together at the end. Very carefully, just go on the edge, get these raised areas. And I'm going to very carefully go around this outer carapace shell on the edge. And we're going to rinse and repeat for that next section. Just going to follow these lines all the way back. And then very carefully get along the edge. and very carefully around the brains. I don't want to undo all that good work I did along the brains with their coloring, so just gonna kind of get in there loosely. Just focus on the edge. Get these back ridges, the spine ridges, just kind of along the edges here. It's a nice easy spot to highlight. Got hard edge. Just get that with the side of my brush. And along the back here. And then we'll get the back side of this left side of his torso. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of ridges on the inner side, so kind of get away with just some spot highlights here and there. Doesn't really draw the eye anyways. Focus on mostly what you see. I find that's usually sufficient for most highlighting. Some people will go around and highlight every last little thing, which looks great, but you do eventually get to a point of diminishing returns. So it's like a showcase piece model. Maybe I'd go further and do more highlights all around, but whatever standard you feel comfortable painting to, do that. And I don't always go all out every time I paint. Just gotta finish stuff. You could theoretically paint something for a very long time. It could never be finished, depending on how much you do blending and building up in all the layers and everything. Alright, so I'm just getting the back carapace pieces. Also, I'm leaning more and more towards, I did it again, sub-assembly. Makes things easier to paint. I have to glue this back on. These flesh hooks, they kind of stick out when you catch your hand. You're rotating this around. Alright, so now we're going to come up the side here. Get those highlights in. Clean my brush off. Oh yeah. Back to it. Get some more Dawnstone. My paint runneth dry. Carefully go around the edge. And then the more you do this, the faster you get at painting. Go figure. Very carefully go around the outer shell here. This has got a lot of interesting grooves. A lot of areas to kind of quickly just pick out with the chunky highlight. It'll really sell the light highlight later. Very careful. This has some really good coloring with that black Norn oil wash we did earlier. But you gotta be careful not to get gray all up in that. Kind of smear my mistakes with my finger. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Sometimes that can be a quick way to erase something that you don't like before it dries. It's a really strong pigment though, it'll smear on your model and won't come off as easy as you think. Have a habit. The finger smear. I want to get better at grabbing a brush and filling it with water and sponging away. That seems to work. More consistently better. More better. Let's get the back side of this. Get these ridges. Almost done with the torso on this highlight run. Back sides of these ones down here. And I'm just gonna get the little baby T-Rex arms and the chest carapace and move on to the hands. Gotta find a good way to hold this so that you can see it on camera, so that it doesn't feel super awkward for me. Yeah, I already hate this. It's fine. Could be better. we'll just roll with it. I'm sure the other claw will turn out much nicer. Very carefully. Get that highlight. There we go. Coming together. And we'll just do the chest carapace. Guarding the heart. Or hearts. I don't know. This creature might have more than one heart. Because it is supposed to be hard to kill. It is the bred for single purpose kill the things creature. So maybe it's got redundant organs, who knows? Wouldn't be the first time we've seen something like that. And I'm just going to work on the other side. Get that chest armor. Alright, now before I move on to something else, I'm just going to quickly grab some glue and fix this flesh hook I busted off again. Gotta be more careful. Just a little dab of the old tester's plastic cement. This stuff is pretty good because it actually melts the plastic together. And I'm hoping I can do that again. There we go. Almost good as new. I'll just set that aside, let the glue dry, and we'll run. We just got the head, the claws, some stuff on the base here. Yeah, the base. Gotta come back to that one. Alright. Let's do the head next. I think that'll be interesting. Turn up the brightness a little bit, so you're gonna see a little bit better. I'll zoom in. The head, just gonna very carefully, same deal as before, chunky highlight along the edges. I'm gonna follow this ridge line up to the top of the horn. And along the very edge, outer edge. Yeah, work around side of the rest of the armor. Oh yeah. Alright, and come along the other side of this head horn. I'm not speaking much because I'm focusing, really focusing. Hopefully you can feel the anticipation. Alright, here we go. Oh no! See there, the wipe technique worked. My hand slipped and I painted where I didn't want, and the wipe technique saved me. Not always the case. This head's kind of awkward to hold. There we go. Now a couple other things. The claws, I think I also want to highlight with Dawnstone. So I'm just going to get the edges on these. It's very subtle. And the inside. There we go. The teeth I'm going to leave because I'm just going to hit those with Administratum Gray. There we go. So similarly, I'm going to come back to the legs and just do some of that highlight real quick. Get some back out. very carefully. There we go. I'm gonna be really subtle on the highlights on these. Because the Norn oil wash did a lot of work. It looks really great, and I'd hate to ruin that nice blend with the messy highlight. Just doing a couple spots here and there. Whenever I'm painting these, I'm always reminded of a quote from Napoleon Dynamite where he's like, "Do the chickens have large talons?" Because the Tyranids have large talons, that's for sure. There we go. Highlights done. Just gotta do the arms. This brush tastes good. Just kidding. It's the paint that tastes good, not the brush. Alright. Just gonna get these ridges on the poison claws, the pokey pokes, the stabby stabs. There we go. Look at that. It's coming together real nice. Get these claws. Just a little subtle highlight on the claws. Just the kind of purpley toxic flesh kind of thing we did last week. I like the way it turned out. Going all the way down. The ridges on the armored claw poker. And I'm looking at that base out the corner of my eye. I think. Just kind of mix it up. I'm going to go on to the base next. And come back to these appendages and further highlighting on the body while the base is drying. I'm all about that efficiency. Waste not a single minute. Maximize your output. All the things. Drink that. Gotta stay hydrated. Anybody play Dark Tide? It's pretty fun. I'm a fan. Start with the claws on this one. And getting that armor. My paint is drying. Get some more water in there. There we go. Pick out the claw. There we go. It's coming together. One more claw to go. Claw edges are kind of tricky to get. They start off really hard and then they get softer as you go back. So you have the right amount of paint on the brush. How's that? Got a little overzealous there. So things I am looking forward to. Space Marine 2. That looks like fun. I'm also looking forward to catching up on my backlog. The new Forge World game, the Legionis Imperialis, I think it's called. The little bitty guys. That actually looks pretty cool. We'll see what the launch set pre-order price is. It's not too bad. Maybe I'll pick it up. But it's probably gonna be like $300. In which case, curious, but I don't know if I'm that curious. Besides, I got a lot of stuff to paint already, so. Look, I'm already talking myself out of it. I'm just gonna do the same deal on these base pieces. Just get that highlight going. I think it would be fun to eventually do a live battle report. Get some of the guys down. I'd probably have to run the show. I don't think I could play and manage the stream, but it'd still be fun. I would totally do it. Live stream battle reports interest you, let me know. If you're watching this after the fact. Also, we have social media links in the description. Follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Gonna start posting more regularly on our other socials. Already got a head start on the Instagram, because I paint quite a bit and I like to share what I paint. So if you like cool miniature pictures, check out the Instagram. This is where I really get impatient, is the bases. So all the attention's on the model, so I feel like I just want to rush it. They add all this cool detail to the bases now. Can't just do a simple ground texture anymore. The model's got to be a whole diorama. That's okay though, I like this base. It's a cool base. I know I've said this before, but the new Tyranids, they did a good thing. They were very cool. Couple of little guys down here. Gotta highlight real quick. Do something more interesting with this base, because I know probably already all tuned out by now. Watching me highlight for hours on end is riveting. I know. I'll mix it up in the future. Probably do some character painting. Maybe some other stuff. smaller characters, not these big monsters things. Or some combination therein. Got highlight on there. I'm not worrying about being too neat on these guys on the base because it's just the base. You just glance at it anyways and you stare at the main piece. So, alright, so I'm gonna do the metal on here and then we'll do the rocks. Thinking like should we do some rusty metal? Let's do some rusty metal. So I'm gonna start with some dry brushing, I think. I'll do this one for sure. Get a little makeup brush. I need to get some proper miniature dry brushes, but these makeup brushes, you can do quite a bit with them. So I'm gonna start with some Norn brown on the metal here. Man, paint pot's clogged up. I'm just gonna get a lot of that off of the brush on the paper towel. I'm just gonna go all the way around the metal. You may say, hey, that's brown, that's not rust. Hang on. I'll make it look rusty. Careful not to get too much on everything else. Get that pipe in there. I got some rust on this on the Tyranid claw thingy. I don't, what do you call them? Spore chimneys, hive creep growth, whatever you want to call it. Not Warblock browns. I want Balthazar gold. No, brass scorpion, I think. The brass scorpion. And this big dry brush, I think its time is done. I'm just gonna clean it off real quick. Too many details I don't want to get metallic color on, so I have to go down to its smaller. Alright, thank you. Alright, okay. Brass scorpion. I'm gonna use the Army Painter small dry brush. Work that in the brush with the paper towel. Gotta keep it kind of thick. I'm just gonna work in some metallic. So it's gonna look like really dirty, rusty metal. Look at that, metallic already. I think this is exactly what I did on my Sector Mechanicus terrain. I could be wrong. Might have been a different color, but basically you do black and then you start with the Mornfang brown, and you kind of do that, most of the brown color on there. Alright, so the rock, I'm gonna do another shade of gray. Hessian gray. I just want it to be something a little bit different than the claws and, you know, everything else. So I'm just gonna, you know what, I need a bigger brush for that. It's gonna take me all night otherwise. Citadel base brush, perfect. That'll do it. So that on the palette. And just start applying that all over the rocks on the base. There's also these like creep growing things. Wondering if I should make those purple. I think I'll make them purple. Or like I could do green. I could make them green like the veins on his toxin stacks on the claws. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Tie the whole piece together. And I'm not going for the smoothest of base coats on here because the black undercoat color kind of makes the rocks a little bit darker. And I'm going to be going over this with a wash anyways, so. Okay, rocks all painted up. All right, let's do some Elysian green on these little snotty slime bits down there. I'm gonna do that with the dry brush again. And got a lot on there. Oops, do that. And I'm just gonna kind of stipple that in there. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. Okay. Got some on the pipe. I'll just brush it off real quick. Alright, so I think I can maybe even catch these with the Elysian gray. Green, Elysian green. Wow. I mean, I think I might have to just go over that with an actual brush. So why don't I do that real quick? And because I put so much on my paper towel from the dry brush, I'll just transfer that onto the palette so I don't have to open up the paint and waste any more. This would be the perfect amount. Alright. So just gonna go and pick out all of the creep growing on here. Oh yeah, I like that. Contrast. The brown and the green. Hey, Joseph Swenson. Welcome. I'm just working on the Norn Assimilator. talking and giving, sending my thoughts into the ether here. On the late stages of the model, just doing some final details, hoping to try to get it done tonight. What are you working on? What's on your hobby desk? I'm gonna carefully get these vines on the rock. Is this music too loud? I can't tell. If you say what music, then I guess not. Oh, there's a spot I missed. Let me get that real quick. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna grab some highlights on here real quick. Let's do Screamer Pink. And I think I want to mix that with some Wraithbone. Just a little bit of Screamer Pink. Like a 50-50 mix. Yeah. Fitty. I'm just gonna do a little bit of highlights on here to accentuate those details. Just add some variation to the base, make it look a little bit more interesting. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know what I'm doing. like. Alright. Could be some mostly Wraithbone. Just a hint of the Screamer Pink. For some nice creamy highlights. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ever so. Also going quickly on this because it's just the base, right? Alright. How's that? It just pops. Alright. So I think next I'm going to wash this with some Egrax Earthshade. Shade brush. Here's my shade brush. I'm just gonna spread this all around. The rock, the ground, the metal. Get it real dirty. Egrax Earthshade and Norn Oil are like two must-haves in every paint rack. So many uses, so helpful. Maybe I grab too small of a brush. Get the paint up on the little lip of the pot. The wash, I should say. Our wash is paint. Yes. Thought I had a deep thought there for a second, but no. It was just a stupid thought. Yeah, so I just liberally apply this everywhere to kind of tie the whole thing together. And I'm not going to apply it on the Tyranid bits, but I will apply it on the metal here. Just kind of dingy this up a bit. Create some more visual interest. And the back side here. Alright, I'm just gonna set that aside and let it dry. And I'm gonna go back to the body. And I'm gonna grab a small layer brush. I think that'll be small enough. And we're gonna do some more finer edge highlights with here it is, Administratum Gray. Gucci. Got a big brush to get some of that on my palette. Close her up real tight. Alright. And using the small layer brush. Once again, I'm going to start with the legs and get the Administratum Gray on my brush. Form a very fine point. I'm just going to try to focus on the most outer edge. And just kind of very carefully catch the edge while leaving most of the Dawnstone highlight underneath. This song, it sounds like Discount Gears of War. I love it. Some of these more finer highlights can actually go pretty quick once you kind of get a rhythm down. Just picking out some spots here and there. Think of these more like twinkles in the eye. Maybe a little more than a twinkle, but you know, just kind of getting the most sharpest of corners with it. When you work up in highlight colors, it kind of brings it all together. It really just sells the whole effect and makes it look really clean, and it'll make you look like a total pro painter. And if you're a pro painter, you can sell your models on eBay for $600,000. Alright, we're getting there. It's coming along. Gonna get the edge. See, I'm starting to rush myself because I'm getting impatient and I just want it to be done. I'm enjoying painting this, don't get me wrong. I just get excited, you know? Seeing it all done and put together, it's very exciting. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, you can see the difference between the top and the bottom. It's subtle, but that lighter highlight just really makes the whole thing pop, building on that chunky highlight I did earlier, initially. I wonder if Bob Ross painted Warhammer, what army would he paint? He'd probably be a guard player, I think. Alright, and lastly, the tail. Just gonna get these edges on the tail. Boom. Yeah, that went a lot quicker than the first chunky highlights. Most of the work's already done. You're just kind of picking out the ones you want to emphasize. Yeah, it's like you're bolding certain words, you know. Carapace, I'm just gonna bold the very sharp edges. That makes sense. And we're gonna try to not break the flesh hooks once again. No promises. And you can also kind of touch up some spots where you maybe have missed the chunky highlight. So it all comes together. Go a little, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Yeah, see? Just got on the big ridges right there. letting the other gray highlight do most of the work. Just get the most sharpest of edges with the light gray. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but you know, that's really all there is to it. Very carefully get the vents. The side of the brush. It's the old hack. Getting highlights. Side of the brush. Highlights with just the tip is very hard. Just the tip. Yeah, just going real subtle. Oof. Messed up. That's okay, I'm gonna ignore it and keep going. Want the right amount of thinness to the paint. A lot of control. You can just barely touch it, but you don't want it to be like super runny either, because then the highlights aren't crisp and they just kind of wash. We also do not want that. So just gonna get these center. Go. And on the back tail thingy, the brain squid, whatever you want to call it. These back ridges tucked away. And wrap up this side here. Actually, I did get that side. Okay. So now we just got the baby T-Rex hands. I'm just going to focus on the edge, very edge. Could be a little bit cleaner, but that's okay. As long as we're mostly there. And there we go. Torso is done. Focus. There we go. Give it a little nudge. Alright, so for the head, same deal, except for I'm also going to get the teeth. I'll just focus on the carapace highlights first. Sticking to the edges. The sharp, sharp edges. That's not so bad. I'm just gonna get some on my brush and get the teeth. Just kind of little dots halfway up. And on the neck carapace. Very subtle. There we go. And the head is just about done. I need to do the eyes still. Also, he's got these veins on the side, which I'm going to do right now before I forget. With my Screamer Pink mixture over here, I'm just going to very carefully get that vein in Screamer Pink. There. That looks cool, right? For the eyes, I'm just going to do those real quick in Aberland Sunset. This yellow is the best yellow for something that covers nicely. It's really warm. It's almost like a mustard yellow, like a dark mustard. It's great for eyes on Tyranids. Just a little bit of that. On the eyes. There we go. Focused in now. There's the head. Now I'm gonna go back to my gray highlights on the arms. Just a couple spots. The Scything Talon carapace. And looking at this, like, I could go further. I could do some highlights on the purple. But I think I'm just gonna do on the armor, and then I think I'm gonna wrap up the base, and we could start gluing this guy together, and maybe even call him done. And of course, there's still the thing I do on the skin, the gloss coat, the ard coat, watered down ard coat over all the skin. Kind of gives it that fleshy, nasty, slimy alien xenomorph. Gosh, I can't think of the name. Look on the skin. All right. So lastly, you need to touch up on the base with a dry brush or two, just real quick. So I'm gonna do some Karak stone on the stone. Just a real light dry brush like that. Just to get some of the stony edge details with something. Yeah, I like that. How's that look? And then I'm gonna do some more dry brushing with Rakarth flesh on the base itself. Something real light, and I'm gonna use a bigger dry brush for that. It's actually a large base brush, which has become a dry brush because the bristles are nice and stiff. Makes it great for dry brushing. Just gonna get some of that on the brush. I don't need a whole lot. I'm just gonna go over the texture on the paint on the base. Just to kind of lighten up some of the raised bits. Get some variations of the base, make it a little more interesting. All that good stuff. Alright, and then lastly, I gotta do the rim of the base, which I do in Army Painter Field Gray. This is a great color. Great neutral earth tone, kind of gray-green. I do it on all my bases for the Tyranids and my Space Marines too. Around the edge. Don't think I need much. That may already be too much, but sometimes it takes 2 coats. But we'll see. Got a big brush for that. Some water, get it nice and thin, and just go around the base. Oh yeah, it's gonna take 2 coats. This paint you don't want to do too thick, it kind of goes on funny. So just a couple thin coats and it'll cover nicely eventually. I don't think it goes over black very well, so. Yeah, you can see this will take a coat or two. Alright, well that first coat dries. Let's start gluing, eh? This is the exciting part. Let us attach the... How does this even go on? So the head goes in here. He's kind of looking off to the left. That is a tight fit. I see. No, I don't see. Oh, okay. Just like that. Okay. Oh, I've done him. I've busted off the, Alright. I'll glue that on after I get this guy together, so I don't bust it off again. So I'm just gonna get some glue in there. Shit. It's coming out fast. Air in there. Alright. You stay. Okay. Yeah. Let's focus. There we go. Get the head situated in there. It's gonna pick up this guy and reattach real quick. Use that plastic back together. Yeah, as soon as I take this for a game, I'll pull it out of the foam and guess what's the first thing that's gonna break off? It goes... Sizing talons go in the top holes, right? I think so. Let's get them mounted to the legs. All right, so we got this little nub. Did I find it? Feels a little loose. I don't know, so he stands on the base like so. Yeah, I think that's fine. Alright, so while that glue sets, I'm gonna go back to the base and do another coat. Another base coat. I'm here all night. Alright, let that dry. And let's go back to gluing the arms. See, that doesn't feel right to me. And this one goes down like yeah. Luckily I have the box in front of me. I can get the pose right. Oh, I see. One arm is kind of down. He's kind of... Yeah, I think I got it. Alright. Oh, shoot. There's like no glue coming out, and all of a sudden all the glue came out. Gonna hold that in place. Let glue solidifies a little bit. Yeah, this would be really tricky to do if it wasn't the sub-assembly. Sub-assembly. Mincing my words. I think that phrase actually means something else. Alright. Adding talon in. I have to be very careful. I think I have to do the clear coat after this thing all dries. So I'll get them glued together and on the base. And I'll have to just finish him off camera. Oh yeah, such a cool model. Check out that. Very cool. Just glue him to the base. There we go. The Norn Assimilator in all its glory. Alright, well, I think that is where we're going to leave it tonight. Norn Assimilator is just about done. Just some final little touches I'm going to do off camera. It's clear coat finishing. That's about it. But yeah, I think it turned out great. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week Monday with something else to paint. I got loads in the backlog, so there's no shortage of models. So anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. At the next one.